What is up, my little Deinos? Vepsis here, your host of the Helsinki Hydreigons, and we are finally here for the Champions of Galar tournament season 2 week 1 battle when we go up against Bruno 7 and his team beat the Chernobyl Dragalges. Make sure to check him out, of course. His channel will be down below in the description. He is somebody that is going to be a little bit newer name coming into Champions of Galar tournament, but definitely deserving to be here and having his spot, because he won the qualification tournament that was held going before this season to see that which two coaches would be qualified for this, and he won the whole entire qualification tournament as a whole in itself. So he's here, definitely deserving his spot, and we get to be his week 1 opponent in this season in itself. Hopefully for our sakes we can beat him, but I'm expecting a tough fight, as every single week in this season will be, of course, knowing that how good of a players we have in our lineup, which you can find, of course, yet again down below in the description. But now we're gonna be going through the team of 6, which you can see above my face cam, and the opponent 6 you can see on the right side. Shoutouts to SlackOut making this beautiful layout for me. This is gonna be the one that I'm using this season, and this is hopefully gonna keep a little bit easier for you to follow throughout the entire battle. What 6 I have left, what 6 my opponent has left, and the game screen in itself should be bigger now compared to what I used to have. So it should be a lot nicer viewing experience, hopefully, for you all to see down there. But now let's go through this team of 6 that I have. You can see right about now, very briefly, the matchup in itself. We are using Automatics Draft League website for this season, just like last time around. So I'm utilizing that right now for you to see very briefly that what mods I had from drafting and what he was able to draft for himself and what I had to prepare for right now. Getting back into this, we're gonna be starting this off with a Lumberry Necrozma that I'm running physical this time around, even though special at first glance looked to be the stronger set. But the basic idea is that I'm expecting something like a special defensive Chirachi to be the first initial answer to Necrozma. So if I am Lumberry Dragon Dance, I can get up one Dragon Dance as I'm forcing it to swap into me, as I'm forcing something else out, for example. And then as he tries to Thunder Wave me, which I would expect to be his play to utilize Chirachi to slow me down, I can get into +2. And then at +2, Adamant Max Attack Earthquake should be taking out Chirachi unless it's physical defense, the defense invested. And there's a decent chance I might be able to, before this comes into play, weaken it down, so then it becomes more likely to definitely be killed regardless of his spread. And then I have Vepsis here just to hit the Alolan person and Photo Geyser as our stab. And that's pretty much Necrozma here to either win or break for my following member, who is also running a Lumberry as its item, Landorus. We are running Dual Dash Landorus. We're going all set up this week, because I feel like that's a very strong method beating his team. And we have the Edgequake with Earthquake and Stone Edge, Sword Dance and Rock Polish, and we are Max Attack Adamant with this guy. So even if I don't set up, I'm gonna be breaking a lot of things. And his team is relatively ground weak compared to the fact that his ground resist is a Maractus and his ground immunity is a Zapdos. And Zapdos at +2 will die to a Stone Edge, assuming I'm landing it. Knock on wood, that would happen, that I will land it if I have to rely on it. You're gonna see what I mean by that later on when it comes to that. But that's pretty much Landorus. Then we have our fully physical defensive Primarina with Rocky Helmet. This is here to help dealing with things like the Darmanitan that is going to be showing up. The things like Alola Persian, it could have helped me versus Conkeldurr, or maybe a little bit with Haxorus depending on what move it's clicking as I swap in. So that's pretty much it. Also, when it comes to the nicknames, you're going to be noticing this season, I'm going to be nicknaming all of my Pokemon after people that are in my front offense. I don't usually have front office, I haven't actually had throughout this entire generation. But I figured for the last season I wanted to invite some of my friends to help me out, to really try to do our best effort onwards to win this league, as everybody else's coach's goal obviously will be the same. So it's gonna be tough regardless, but all of my Pokemon will be named after the people in my front office that I really appreciate their help throughout this ride, and hopefully I can do well for them. And then we have our Raikou, very interesting Raikou set with a Thunderbolt, Toxic Substitute and Calm Mind. Now at first I was thinking just purely just the instead of having Calm Mind I would be Protect and I'm the Starbreaker Raikou. But again, there is a one more with the, specifically my METAGROSS is having a cool tech that I hope works, that could enable this mod to go crazy with Calm Mind set as well. And we are running leftovers on this, of course, as is the item of choice. So Raikou is here to spread out the status with Toxic if necessary early on. And depending on what happens with the METAGROSS, what I'm able to do with it and surprise my opponent, the Calm Mind can come in play. Or if I'm able to just eliminate Gastrodon as a whole, which is his ground type, then Calm Mind Raikou can also go crazy on him if he's not be too cautious about that scenario being potentially the case. And then our second last member will be my special defensive Goodra with Dragon Tail, Earthquake, and Rest Sleep Talk, holding the leftovers as well. And Gui just as ability, because I didn't think Zap Zipper will be that necessary. So I figured that Gui is the next best thing to run on Goodra's ability, because it gives me opportunity to get a -1 speed on anybody that is doing a contact move on me. That can come in clutch, for example, trying to set up with something or revenge kill them afterwards. And this is here just to be a Gengar resist, because Crafty wasn't really gonna be doing it, because Gengar gets access to Dazzling Gleam. And with that I had to rely on Goodra, because even though Dazzling Gleam is super effective on Goodra as well, because of high speed F stat that we have naturally, should be able to help to take us on a Gengar. Unless it's gonna be like Choice Specs modest and it's clicking Sludge Wave, then I'm gonna be a little bit of a pickle with that case. But regardless, the last member of our team is gonna be my Stealth Rocking METAGROSS, which has decent amount of attack stat as well, going with it for Meteor Mash just in case if Slowpuff showed up. We have Earthquake to hit the Jirachi, and then we have Trick. And the Trick is pretty cool on this METAGROSS, so let me show you what we have. We have a ring target as our item, and this is the one that I think is gonna be surprising my opponent. It's really gonna open my strategy as a whole in different ways, depending on which mod this lands to. So, in case you don't know, it does say it a little bit there, but just try to simplify it. What I try to do with this is that once I trick away this ring target to something like a Zapdos, while it still keeps its flying typing as a stab, it loses the immunity that it provides for it, which means Landorus can all of a sudden click it with Earthquake. Goodra can hit it with an Earthquake. METAGROSS in itself can hit it with an Earthquake. Then, if it hits on the Gastrodon, if that's the swapping from his side when I'm going for it, it still keeps its ground as a stab, but it becomes not immune to electric stab for my Raikou, and it's actually weak to it now because it does have the water typing as well. And then finally, the one other mode that it can come also in place, that if he uses Alolan Person as a swap in, then my Necrozma's Photo Geyser becomes neutral at it, because now the dark typing doesn't keep it like immune to it. And with Photo Geyser, how it works, it does then nullify the Fur Coat ability, which otherwise will be a little bit annoying for me, my physical attackers, otherwise if he is very physically defensive with it, or just in general mixed defensive, Alolan Person will be annoying. But then, if it is ring targeted on, my Photo Geyser will be ignoring that ability in itself. So that's pretty cool. I really hope this METAGROSS works. And it does open up my strategy for my rest of my mons. My other mons sets don't purely rely on that to work, other than like maybe Raikou, but even then I have Toxic to wear down the Gastrodon. But like Landorus and Necrozma's job as a sweeper or breaker becomes a lot easier if this ring target does happen to help either of them. So that is going to be the team, and now I'm gonna be trying to get connected with my opponent. We are gonna be just breaking the fourth wall. This is gonna be our third attempt in 3 days to get this battle done. I don't know why me and Bruno are having such issues to connect with LAN or online competition, but some reason we are, and I know now that it's not from my end, because I've been trying to test my online connection with somebody else, and I also tried LAN connection with somebody else as well. I've been able to get those properly going, and I've been able to utilize LAN with other people, just testing out if it works. So whatever the case is, either it's from Bruno's side, or whatever it's the case that for some reason neither of us cannot find each other, hopefully that's gonna be figured out today. So hopefully crossing my fingers for my own sake, I guess, at this point. But I'm gonna be cutting out here, and we are gonna be coming back once the battle hopefully finally starts. Alright, we are finally here with the battle. Like I said at the very end of the team builder portion of the video, we have been having a lot of struggles. This is the third day we are trying to get ourselves connected, and now we managed to figure it out what we had wrong going on with the LAN connection. So good luck and have fun to Bruno7. Hopefully this is gonna go well. His team of 6 that he's gonna be bringing, you can already see on the layout and my own. We did share this information before going to this. just for me to able to have them on the layout ready to go. So he is bringing the Jirachi, Alolan person, Gengar, Gastrodon, Darmanitan and Zapdos, and for my lead, I feel pretty comfortable leading with my Primarina because it covers like Alolan person, like potting shotting lead if he feels comfortable with that. It deals well with the Darmanitan lead right from the get-go because it could be his choice Scarfer. The only one that I really struggle versus right away would be like a Gengar lead or Zapdos lead, but hopefully those wouldn't be the lead of choices. So I'm gonna be locking that as my lead. The goal is to try to lure in the Jirachi so I can get my METAGROSS in to get up Stealth Rocks. But also to able to find a turn to trick ring target its item away, which you see on the METAGROSS, because then I can make either Zapdos not being immune to Earthquake, Gastrodon not being immune to Electric type moves from Raikou, or Person not to be immune to my Photo Geyser from Necrozma, which all of them would be fantastic to be able to do. But let's see what he leads up with. Luke Harry, which is going to be the person. Okay, I kinda had a funny idea once I saw this thing that this could be his lead of choice. And I'm gonna be thinking, even though he has a Gastrodon in the back, I feel like he would be swapping into either Zapdos or Jirachi after a potting shot. So I'm gonna be clicking flip turn. Just a gut feeling. Yeah, he's gonna be potting shotting. So he does pack that on the person. Yeah, I do expect something like a Zapdos or the... Oh, he does go into the Gastrodon right away, okay. I'm a little surprised he was willing to do that. Now, Slot Spawn would be hurting me, because now he's +1. So I do have to go into my Gutra on this. I had to at least wait and see what he's like. If he has Slot Spawn, he could be clicking that, but it could also be just like a Earthquake variant. I was just happy to have Toxic. That's fine too, because my... That's also fine because I do have Restock on this. So this status should not be here to stay, and he doesn't see my leftovers just yet. His way of scouting Power Whip would be either Jirachi or Zapdos. I'll be a little surprised if they stayed in. So part of me wants to make a swap, but I could also go for a Dragon Tail and kind of see what he does. Let me just go for a Dragon Tail, because I think he does have to scout for this. Folgado, which is the Zapdos. Okay, I'm glad I clicked Dragon Tail if I stayed in. But unfortunately I do miss the hit, so... That's the little bit unfortunate part there. So now... I'd imagine he would be clicking U-turn here. So I'm gonna be clicking Earthquake, predicting like Jirachi to come in. Oh, he does just go for the Hurricane. Okay, I'm surprised. But I can Rest Talk. Well, unless that would happen. Okay, that's... I have to keep this thing held. I need to get this thing later on the Gastrodon. But that's really bad. The fact that he lands a Hurricane and gets the Confusion. Now I have to use Raikou on this. And I'm now very vulnerable to a Gengar. That's the annoying part. I have to get that rest off soon. But I go into my Raikou. I should be taking this just fine. And now I do at least dodge it. So now I feel comfortable going for a substitute and get that Gastrodon on a timer. He could have the Heat Wave to try to break this up, but... Yeah, he does go into the Gastrodon. So we saw the Hurricane coming from the Zapdos. He would be expecting me to be Toxic Protect set, but I am having Calm Mind over the Protect because I wanted to have a way of breaking special defensive mons as well. But now we go for a Toxic. Get this thing on a timer. And there we go. We do manage to land it, so Gastrodon is Toxic now. This is big. As he does have the Earthquake. How much my Gudra would be taking for my Earthquake if I swap into the Gastrodon? Special defensive. $73 HP at most. I need to see what kind of HP I'm looking at with Gudra. 74 I would barely live it, and if he has any attack investment it would take me out. So I think I have to actually use Primarina at first. So this is a little annoying situation that he managed to get the confusion, because now I really have to be careful when I get my... It does 87. Yeah, that's not the ideal amount of damage for me to having to see. I feel like he would have to scout for a energy ball now that I am neutral special attack. So part of me wants to just flip turn. But then again, if he gives damage on this thing, it would be pretty big. I'll flip turn. I don't think he stays in the way I'm bringing it in. Yep, good. I get a little initiative for myself. J. Ricky, which is probably Gengar. Okay. That's good damage. That's good damage for me. I think I can go into Raikou on this Gengar. To kind of force it out. I could also go into my Landorus there and kind of bluff the... No, I think I'll do the Raikou. Raikou is safe no matter what he does. With this Gengar staying in. So I can definitely force this thing out if I would like. He's Black Slug with it. Okay, so he's at 75%. 75 Black Slug. So Thunderbolt doesn't outright kill him. I really don't think he will stay in, because he has a safe Gastrodon to go into. I'm making the double. I don't think he stays in here. I swap out first because I think I'm faster as well, because I'm modest max speed. He stayed in. What? I did not expect him to do that at all. Why would he stay in? I can still get this thing healthy. But at this point it might be a case that I would have to let this thing go down. Or I go back into Raikou, but Raikou would be taking too much damage. So I think I have to just Earthquake. This is not the way I thought he would be playing. Okay, here's Hex on this. So being a res set may have not worked then anyways. So now, what I think I'll do is that I go into my METAGROSS, because I'm pretty sure METAGROSS can live any hit from this. Because he's not specs or anything, or boosting item. Yeah, an Earthquake kills it. I'm gonna go into that and get my plan going at least a little bit with this. I'll click Earthquake here. He may just swap out into like Zapdos, for example. But that now means that my Gudra is gone, so we take the 5th Mon out. I'm surprised he was willing to give that damage on the Gengar just like that, and now he will swap then. Yeah, he does go into Zapdos, but I think now I Rin target. I trick Rin target this item away, even if he stays in. He does go for the discharge. Ideally we don't get hacked any further. Good. Okay. Now this thing is weak to Earthquake. Which is very big. The annoying part is that I don't swap into this too easily. Unless he has like talks. My Raikou can swap in on this, to be fair. But I could just Earthquake here and get some good damage on this thing. Because he only seems to have discharge. I don't know if he has you. I could also get up my rocks. I think rocks are important. Let me get those up first. He goes for discharge again. He does get the para. Don't give a full para for him. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if he has defog or not. But if he does, this gives me a free swapping to Raikou, for example. Or I go into Landorus right away. Because I can Earthquake on a defog. I think Landorus is actually better. It gives me the opportunity to fire off a big Earthquake. Let's see, does he have defog on this zone? I think it could be because he has the Darmanitan. Yeah, he has defog. So he has Discharge, Hurricane, defog, Roost. And now I fire off a big Earthquake, because then I get damage on person if that's the swap in. If he stays in, he will die to this. I have Lumberry if he confuses me. I believe that's how Lumberry should work, right? Yeah. So now this should be dead. Because I ring targeted. Yeah. Beautiful. Alright, the Zapdos is dead, which is really good, because that was kind of like where Goodra was necessary. I might need to keep the Primarina around, because of the chance that Darmanitan is like a belly drum set, I need a way to revenge it. Okay, he does go into the Persian now. But I use my Primarina for this. I do need to find a way to get damage on this guy, but Landorus can still get up a Rock Police at late game versus something like a Jirachi, so it's still important to have. He does go for Toxic and misses. That's really good for me. And now I could go for the Energy Ball and predict the Gastrodon to come in. Which I think I'll do. Just to be able to hit it. Because I don't like swapping into Gastrodon either, so I'd rather start to force it to take damage and maybe lose to me 1v1. And put it in a range that Raikou can then get to do some work there. I've been clicking a lot of like flip turning, so I could see him try to go into Gastrodon again. Yeah. Okay. I'm -1, so this might not do a whole lot, especially because he has a Rindo Berry, but I'm able to get some damage on this thing. That did a lot still. Because I get a critical hit. Which I don't think it really makes up for the Goodra, but it's at least nice to get something in my favor. Because I could have very healthy Goodra to deal with Gengar right now, but based on how it's getting worn down and how aggressively I had to play to get it in for free, it wasn't really ideal. His only play right now would be swapping out. To what? Gengar. Is that his only play he could do? Do I want to just flip turn there? I could honestly try to take this thing out. He might sack this. Yeah, he does sack this. Which is really good for my Yeah, that's very good for Raikou. Raikou is open up right now. That's very good. Now I can take out... I haven't actually taken out his Zapdos yet. So we are gonna be taking out the Zapdos and we take out the Gastrodon. And there's the Gengar. I need this to be around. So I might just go into my Metacross here and let it go down. If it's up, it would be very annoying, but my Raikou is healthy enough to try to 1v1 it. Yeah, he is substitute with it. So I'm gonna go for the Earthquake, but Hex will definitely take me out. Yeah. So now my way of dealing with this is just going to my Raikou. So Metacross dies, which is my last one on the layout. But assuming he's not like timid nature with this thing, my modest Raikou still outpaces him when he's modest himself. So this should be okay. We just click Thunderbolt. Yeah, we are faster as I thought. Okay. He does go for the Sludge Bomb. As he does get the poison as well. Which is kind of his luck right now. I don't like how this is going right now, because now I would have to utilize my Necrozma to beat this. So now I'll just go for Thunderbolt again. If there's a little bit of justice, I would get a Thunderbolt Para here, or a crit. But there's no justice. There's no justice when it comes to this. My Raikou, which is the 4th member, goes down. And now my only play is in Necrozma. This Necrozma can still do it. But my way of dealing with this would have to be, I think, Dragon Dancing. I think that's the play, right? Do I Dragon Dance? Or do I just go for raw Earthquake, getting some damage on person? I think I Dragon Dance. He might preserve this still. Oh, he's Toxic on it. Oh, that doesn't help because I'm Lumberry. Yeah, I have Lumberry on this. So now I can go for a Earthquake here, which should be damaging even the person with very well damage. Because any damage I get on the person would be good for me, if he chooses to preserve this. But he will just give me this. I wanna keep this thing at full health, because it can be important later on. This will force either person or Darmanitan having to come in. I would imagine the person would be the first choice. And his Gengar, which was his 5th on the layout, is now gone. Blue Carry. Yeah, there's the person. He has to like fall play, for example, which gives me Rocky Helmet with my Primarina. There is still an out on this. There is still definitely a out. What's his way of dealing with me? Toxic. Does he not have foreplay on that thing? Would be very surprised if he didn't. But now I can flip turn. Assuming Jirachi comes out, and that gives my Landorus Therian still value to fire off a huge Earthquake on something. So I flip turn. This is gonna be a tight endgame, because things weren't really going early on as I would like to with all the shenanigans going on. Granted, I could have like tried to get the good range safer, but the man, it was tough. I guess risking the Hurricane the first time around with the Kudra was a little bit ambitious. Maybe that time around I should have swapped, but like realistically I should have had a freedom to click rest instead of like him getting a confuser with 30% of chance plus the confusion hitting myself is like 33, so I think in general I just got very unlucky in this. I did get the crit with the on the Cascador, which may have forced him to sack it, but like Raikou did not get to do as much work as Kudra would have been able to help me right now, so we'll see. There's still a shot at this, because if he has to go into Jirachi, that gives me Landorus Therian to Earthquake unless he has Ice Punch on it. He goes into this right away. Wow. So, what is his choice here? Because I can go into my Landers and get up a Intimidate. Because if he's Belly Drum, I go into Landers, he goes into Sub. I Aqua Jet. The other option I go into straight into Necrozma. I think I'll just go into Landers. I'll go Landorus right away and I double back into Primarina. I don't think he would like go for Belly Drum in front of Landorus. If anything, he might U-turn. Or he just hard swaps. Luke Harry. Which is again the person, that's fine. That Darmanitan definitely could be the Belly Drum set right now, because he hard swapped himself. So, I just need damage on this thing. But I don't think he will be giving that to me. I think I'll flip turn again. Right? Yeah, I'll flip. I don't think he will give damage on this. I think it would be a joke for him to do that. Yeah. He cannot let this thing get worn down, because Necrozma can automatically win. Especially if that Darmanitan proves to be not Scarf. It could also be Choice Bandit or Life Orb instead. But I feel like it might be set up now. Cherry. Darmanitan again. What is he trying to do? Like, he cannot Belly Drum anymore. That's the thing. He might try to get his Jirachi and that could be a thing. I don't think it's my play to stay in, because this is one of my better ways to break the Jirachi and get damage on the... Get damage on the person as well if Jirachi is forced out. So I think Primarina is still my play. Fire Punch. This was definitely a setup as far as I can tell. Because I'm gonna see a Salakberry. Yep, it was the Belly Drum set. But he couldn't get it in a right moment. And here I can just Aqua Jet. That should take it out. Okay. It's just a matter of getting through that person right now. Like Landorus, if it doesn't seem to have foreplay like it doesn't look to be, Landorus can fire off a huge Earthquake on it that helps me out. And then I Dragon Dance and Axis, so could take it out, depending on if it's fully Fuse Step or not. But here comes the Jirachi. I think I need this to be fully healthy, so I probably have to like hard Landorus on this. Right? Or do I? I might need this thing as last one alive. If he Iron Heads me... I think I flipped turn off the chance this is like a special defensive set with Thunder Wave. I'll flip turn. Psyshock. And I live that. That's pretty nice. He's Psyshock with it. He could have Icy Wind on it, right? Let me see its ice moves. It could have Icy Wind. I could go into my Necrozma and just fire off a huge Earthquake. I think that's the play. There, Darmanitan is dead. So we are dealing with these two now. I think prioritizing the damage on person would be big for me to enable to get a potential win off. I think I have to Earthquake here raw, thinking he would swap. Yeah, I need damage on that person. So it's at full health. How much is this Earthquake doing to it? It did 25. What does that tell me? It's also leftovers. Okay. So at +1, Axisor could take it out. Well, I would have to get 2 attacking offs. Is this where I have to like Dragon Dance and hope it's not foreplay? Is that what I have to do? Because if I'm at +1, the Jirachi should be out. I think that's what I do. We're gonna Dragon Dance here. Toxic. I think 2 Axisors should take it out. Based on how much that... Based on how much that did before. Hopefully he doesn't reveal to now have foreplay all of a sudden and he hasn't been clicking it yet. But the way he has been using it thus far, he hasn't revealed to have it. Or making it seem that he does. So let's go for the Axisor. This should be doing a lot. As it does. Don't have foreplay. Do not have foreplay. Okay. Okay. That's huge. Because that thing is now like, what, 25% or 30%? Now that I'm neutral attack, how much the Jirachi is taking from me? If it's max HP, it's at 80%. Earthquake should be doing quite a bit to him. Let's go for Earthquake. Come on, Necrozma. Pull it this for us. We have been very unlucky thus far in this battle. Okay, that did a lot. Which weakness policy? Yeesh. Does Shadow Ball take me out? It's Flash Cannon. Does that take me out? See how much the poison does. I can claim one more kill. I can claim one more kill. Axisor does not do enough. I have to Earthquake. Okay, Jirachi is gone. That's really huge. Now, assuming person doesn't have Icy Wind, we might be looking fine. I could have maybe gone for like a second Dragon Dash. That could have been a chalky fight if this thing does have the move to hit me with. But now I go into Lander's there because it gives me the Intimidate if the person's only move is to... Okay. Don't have Icy Wind. That's the big thing I have to worry about. He could have had it before and that's why... There's a good chance he doesn't have it. He hasn't clicked that either before. So let's go for Earthquake. Their first Jirachi is gone. Foreplay. We don't live that. Oh my god. I think we lost this. No. That's so unfortunate. No. You gotta be kidding me. Now it's really infuriating that all these shenanigans happened before, but maybe I should have just gone for a Dragon Dance. That's so annoying. I'm really frustrated with myself. I'm also frustrated like how the early game went, but that's definitely gonna take me out. Man, not the way I wanted the season to start. We do only lose at 1-0, like for big scheme of things. But, man. Yeah, I think just having to Dragon Dance there second time may have been the play. He did have the foreplay all this time. I was thinking like he did not have the foreplay all that time. But maybe I should have just Dragon Dance there. Man. That's a frustrating because I know week 2 is gonna be very tough a week to bounce back, because we are gonna be going up against the like one of the titans of Wi-Fi scene in Generation 8. I guess myself included, I'm one of them in people size. So it's gonna be a big battle next week. Considering that it's me versus Montai, that hasn't never happened before. And now I'm putting in the corner a little bit by this loss, that now I'm 0-1 and -1. Now differential wise, thankfully it's not a big deal, but looking back on this, like potential misplays could have been the Kudra staying on the Zapdos, but that was such a small chance that that should have cost me. But on the second time around, like the one that I should have definitely done was Dragon Dancing again with Necrozma in front of the Jirachi. Because if the Jirachi only had Flash Cannon to hit me, I could have ensured to take it out right away before the weakness policy popped off. And then the person should have been dead. So I think in the end, I still had opportunity, but I didn't go on for it with the second Dragon Dance. But that's unfortunate. Like, I have to look back on it, like how much a Flash Cannon would have done without the weakness policy. But I think it should have not put, because only the Toxic was putting me that close, and the Flash Cannon at +2. So I do think I had to go for second Dragon Dance. But it is what it is. Next week I do have to come very strong and just try to get myself back into winning side of things. We are going up against Montai. I'm really excited for the game. Now I'm feeling really bad for how I played this week 1. For the most part, I guess just the very end of it that I feel bad about it. So I'm gonna be kicking myself this a little bit, but I'm gonna try to turn this into a motivation and fuel to come back strong in week 2. And from there, try to get ourselves in a playoff position, which is in the end the end goal. We have to just make it to the playoffs, and then it's everybody's game. So hopefully the week 1 loss that we have to suffer today, very closely to Bruno 7. Congratulations to him. Hopefully it's not gonna decide our season as a whole. It shouldn't be. It's only week 1. So, big scheme of things, I need to just cool off, learn what I have to learn from this game, and come back strong next week. So thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the week 2 battle versus Montai. And until then, I'm gonna be see you guys later.